was considered to be the longest play of Shakespeare. Yes, the longest play of Shakespeare was Hamlet with 30,557 words. The full title of the play was The Tragedy of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark. Hamlet was a revenge play written by William Shakespeare between 1599 and 1601. The setting of the play took place in Denmark. The play depicted about the revenge of Prince Hamlet against his uncle King Claudius, who had murdered Hamlet's father in order to seize the throne and marry Hamlet's mother Gertrude. Now, let us look into the outline summary of the play. Prince Hamlet was the son of the King Hamlet, who had died about 2 months before the play started. After his father died, his uncle Claudius became the king of Denmark and married Hamlet's mother Gertrude. When the play began, the 2 officers named Merciless and Bernardo beckoned Prince Hamlet's friend Horatio in order to see the ghost that appeared previous night at the castle of Elsinore. At first, Prince Hamlet's friend Horatio didn't believe the truth, but after seeing the ghost which appeared in full armor, he confirmed that it was the ghost of dead old Hamlet. Little later, they all called Prince Hamlet in order to see the dead old Hamlet's ghost. Privately, the ghost revealed the truth behind his death. Actually, everyone thought that Prince Hamlet's father, old Hamlet, had died by a poisonous serpent. But the truth was that old Hamlet was murdered by King Claudius. King Claudius was a brother of old Hamlet and uncle of Prince Hamlet. King Claudius murdered old Hamlet actually by pouring the juice of a poisonous herb Hebenon into his ear while he was sleeping in his orchard in the afternoon. Upon hearing this, Prince Hamlet got angry and promised the ghost that he would take a revenge against his uncle Claudius. After conversing with the ghost, Prince Hamlet ordered his officers not to reveal anything about the appearance of ghost to anyone in the country. Polonius was a Lord Chamberlain in King Claudius' court. Ophelia was a daughter of Polonius and a sister of Laertes, with whom Prince Hamlet was in relationship. When Laertes decided to go back to France, before leaving his home, Laertes warned his sister not to continue her relationship with Prince Hamlet. Even Ophelia's father, Polonius, too gave the same caution to Ophelia, for which Ophelia accepted their caution like a docile lamb and told that she would obey them. Meanwhile, Polonius was sending his servant Renaldo to his son Laertes in France to deliver letters and money. Polonius also instructed Renaldo to be a spy so that Polonius would come to know the real character of his own son Laertes. And then, after coming to know the rudeness and rough behavior of Prince Hamlet towards Ophelia, Polonius thought that Prince Hamlet was madly in love with his daughter and decided to report King Claudius about the relationship between his daughter Ophelia and Prince Hamlet. King Claudius and Gertrude wanted Prince Hamlet to stop mourning for his father's death, and they implored Prince Hamlet to be in Denmark and to give up his intention of going back to University of Wittenberg. Prince Hamlet's stepfather and his mother celebrated it when he accepted their proposals. After a while, Hamlet was so furious he acted like a lunatic. So King Claudius and Gertrude sent Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern were two fellow students of Prince Hamlet. They have been sent in order to spy on Prince Hamlet to see why he was going crazy. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern would try to know the mental trauma of Prince Hamlet, but they failed. Polonius now appeared before King Claudius and conveyed two important things. One was Polonius announced the return of two ambassadors, namely Voltiman and Cornelius, who had been sent by King Claudius to meet King of Norway. Because King Claudius wanted the King of Norway to stop the Prince of Norway, Fortinbras, who was very curious to wage a war against Denmark. And the second news Polonius informed was that the real cause of Hamlet's malady. That is, Polonius told Hamlet's feelings towards his daughter, and further said that the rejection of Prince Hamlet's love by his daughter Ophelia made Hamlet to behave roughly. In order to witness the words of Polonius, King Claudius, Gertrude, Polonius would arrange for a meeting between Prince Hamlet and Ophelia. But Prince Hamlet didn't show his interest towards Ophelia and asked her to become a nun because only that would purify her soul. Their conversation was overheard by King Claudius, Gertrude, and Polonius, and they confirmed that Ophelia's rejection wouldn't be the reason for Hamlet's odd mannerism. Meanwhile, in this play, there would be 9 soliloquies of Prince Hamlet, where he lamented about the death of his father, immediate marriage of his mother to his uncle, whether to believe ghosts or not, rejection of Ophelia, and the revenge which was yet to be executed. All these made Prince Hamlet to utter the famous sayings to be or not to be. After a while, Prince Hamlet decided to execute a psychological test. Prince Hamlet devised a plan to reenact the tragedy of Gonzago, which he called Mousetrap, in front of King Claudius. Because the murder of Gonzago was just as the same as the murder of his father, Old Hamlet. Through a troupe of young actors, the play was enacted in the stage. And after watching the reaction on the face of King Claudius, Prince Hamlet confirmed that his uncle, King Claudius, was a murderer of his dead father. King Claudius was upset, but he didn't admit to the crime. Later, Gertrude tried to reason the rude offending of Prince Hamlet with his stepfather, King Claudius, while Polonius spied on them behind the arras in the same room. Unfortunately, Hamlet mistaken Polonius as King Claudius and stabbed him. When Hamlet found out that he killed Polonius and not King Claudius, he regretted it. Meanwhile, King Claudius thought that Prince Hamlet may try to kill him also. So, he had planned to send off Prince Hamlet to England. Hence, King Claudius had sent Rosencrantz and Guildenstern with the order letter to British King to kill Hamlet as soon as he landed England from Denmark. But Prince Hamlet's friend Horatio would receive a letter from Hamlet, explaining that he escaped from pirates who attempted to attack him. Meanwhile, Laertes came back from France to Denmark and he was very angry over his father's death. Ophelia too became sad and mad and died by drowning in a stream. Claudius was aware of power clearly and he made Laertes to undergo a duel with Prince Hamlet. Meanwhile, a young courtier named Osric came to Prince Hamlet and informed him that King Claudius had arranged a friendly fencing match between him and Laertes. Now, the last scene shifted to fencing area. King Claudius had provided a poisoned rapier and he also kept a cup of poisonous drink ready for Prince Hamlet. When the duel began, Prince Hamlet wounded Laertes. To rejoice it, Gertrude mistakenly would drink the poisonous drink and she would die. Meanwhile, Laertes and Prince Hamlet stabbed and killed each other with a poisoned rapier. But before dying, Prince Hamlet stabbed King Claudius with the same poisoned rapier and killed him by forcefully pouring a cup of poisonous drink into his mouth. Now, Horatio offered to commit suicide and die with his friend, but Prince Hamlet told Horatio to stay alive. After giving a parting message to his friend Horatio, Prince Hamlet died. At the end of the play, according to the wishes of Prince Hamlet, Prince of Norway Fortinbras was made a king of Denmark, and Horatio had taken the task of explaining the whole situation to his countrymen. With this, the play came to an end. In the course of tragedy, 9 persons were killed. In this play, Hamlet, which is a pure tragedy, ends with the death of Old Hamlet, Polonius, Ophelia, Rosencrantz, Guildenstern, Gertrude, Laertes, King Claudius, and at last Prince Hamlet. Thank you.